Hey guys, Big J here from the Centre Bounce. Mate, I tell you what, these Sunday lockouts, I think it was 11 o'clock at night, which means it's obviously quite late for you guys, but I made sure, hey, every Sunday of this regular season, I will make my team review coming out. It's week 2. How can I give up on that already? We did okay. Brought in Tom Stewart, which wasn't okay. Hope you guys enjoy. Boys and girls, how good North Melbourne gets a win over Melbourne. Finn O'Sullivan, I got rid of him last week. Obviously, the 40 that he scored wasn't great, but bloody fantastic. North Melbourne, great win. Little bit shaky on the Sheasel pick. If you guys didn't pick him, cool. You guys did quite well. I think I did. Had Gorn over Cherry in my team. Mate, there was a missed 100-plus points. But I think Gorn's going to be okay. Goodwin said in the presser, maybe Gorn's got some family stuff happening. So can't really fault him for that. You know, just how it works. We move on. We keep going. I think Big Maxie's going to be fine. Let's check out the team. Let's see how we went. See if it's going to work for us. Hey, let's go down here. We scored 1970 this week. Now, I thought it was going to be a lot worse. It ended up being out okay. Not the best score, but definitely not the worst score. We did go up in rankings. I think at the moment I'm about 280-ish points away from number 1, which isn't great. But as you guys have seen from the thumbnail, I do have 2 okay captaincy scores. So it's kind of helped us out a little bit there. Best 18 is fantastic. I mean, if this was the regular season, I'd have a bunch of 30s on field. I would have, Tom Stewart's 8 potentially hurting me as well. So, it's at least kept us in the race. And if they're going to keep round 0, I actually quite like it. Best 18 for the first few weeks is bloody fantastic. Let's check out the team, and I'll kind of go through the biggest issues for myself. So let me see if I can make this bigger for you guys. 1 second. It's going to work. Hey, I think that works better. And Big J is going to come all the way over here. So backline, Sheasel 81. Just got to be a little bit careful with him. Cash is going to drop quite heavily. I think the break even is quite high as well, 170. So he's obviously not going to score that against Adelaide. But I do think he's going to be a keeper in the position. Ended up with quite high CBA. So if you guys haven't already, jump on DFS, player summary. Cool. We just go to Supercoach, and then let's put in Sheasel. And it kind of gives us all his stats. So he's been playing 53% CBAs, which is fantastic. This week, he did okay, 55% CBAs. Cool. We might get DPP Sheasel. Ooh, that would be cool, DPP Sheasel. Maybe mid defender, which would be nice. Time on ground, 89%. Cool, 81 Supercoach. It's just the disposal efficiency that's killed him. I think it's a little bit of maybe just the new position. He has gone from back to midfield to now playing, midfield and then half forward. We won this week. The stats don't lie. He did quite well. We check out the heat map for Sheasel. He was playing a little bit of wing, bit of mid, and then kind of everywhere. So not panic stations at the moment, but he will drop cash. I can understand if, hey, you might want to go him to a Bailey Dale, make that 100K, you could go Stewart up to a midfield or something. I can understand why that could work. Zorko, bloody fantastic. Went a bit slow to start the game. Ended up on like 20 points at quarter time or something, and then just went bang at the end. Fantastic. West Coast kind of gave in the last 10 minutes or so, which is unfortunate for West Coast fans, but fantastic for us. Tom Stewart. Now, yeah, it sucks. And I think that's probably the big thing for us today is Stewart out really hurts. I didn't have enough money for a Clark. Although I could have not gone Ashcroft, I could have gone someone like Lindsay, maybe had enough money for Clark, which, in hindsight, they scored about the same points, which is it's not great. Stewart with the 9, missed out on a massive Clark 120. We'll try and rectify that as much as we can. Just luckily, as I said, best 18 means that, hey, we don't need to worry too much about it. Matt Roberts, 115, bloody fantastic. 3rd highest score, I think, for Sydney. So not too bad there. Jaden Short, definitely one to worry about. He needs to go. The break-even's definitely getting close to the scoring potential. They're just moving the ball without him. Ben Miller's kind of come in and stolen all the kickouts, which isn't great. And Jaden Short, I don't know, I think he's getting a tagging role. Like, they're just not looking for him. Richmond's game in the preseason is completely different to what their game is now. And he is a liability, unfortunately, for us, which isn't great. Trainer, fantastic. No, sorry, Trainer's not fantastic. So I'll tell you guys a story. Let me just quickly check. When was Essendon played first? They lost to Adelaide. Cool, wasn't great. But Zach Reed, 36. And I'm like, do I hold Zach Reed or do I assume that Trainer who scored a 50 last week, who personally I thought was underscored, would score better? No. So Trainer scored a 24. Luckily, it wasn't in my best 18 scores, but it's not great. So Zach Reed's there, Trainer's there. Patton obviously didn't play, but got 31 touches in the VFL. So maybe he comes back, but the big boy Riley Bice, it is what it is. Very, very lucky that Sydney has this week off. So next week we can spend a trade or two and get Bice in and not get punished too much. Jordan Dawson, 124, fantastic. Been a very good pick for me. I know we burnt a lot of people last year, but seems to be okay. Connor Rosie, the captain, wasn't looking great at halftime. I think he was on 48 points and then just steamrolled home. So very happy with the 130. Clayton Oliver also happy with the 130, and then Chera 113. So I think for the most part, these guys are kind of locked in. Chera potentially could change, but I mean, his break-even's quite low. It's a 32. So if he scores an 80, he's going to go up by 20 odd K. He'd probably get to 500K pretty quickly. So that's at least something there. O'Driscoll, 95. Very, very happy we brought him in. I wasn't going to start him, and that means I would have missed out on, what did he score last week? So let me quickly check season stats. He scored a 91 last week, 95 this week. So very, very happy there. You guys can't see, but now you can see. Very, very happy there. Ashcroft forced him into the team, expected a little bit more. His brother actually had the better score of him this week, just went over 100. He went 72. As I said, that 30 odd K could have been the difference between Stewart in this week or not. So really, really hurts us. He could easily be a fade target there. So let's pretend I got Clark in, got Lindsay in. We could fade him pretty easily. And the 72, cool. Okay, I've got other guys that are scoring the same. So bit of a miss there. It is what it is. Nevitt, not so great either. He is a little bit cheaper, but the 58, we wanted more. I think his AFL fantasy score was in the 80s, so must have had a pretty poor game. Caco over Camporelli on field, which wasn't great. I expected a little bit more. I think he's in the chopping block very, very, very quickly. Just, I don't know. It's just a weird one. Looking at him, obviously being a small forward, it's not great. Just scoring wise, like he needs to score goals and needs to tackle. And Essendon didn't do much of either, losing by 60 odd points, unfortunately. So one to watch, negative 12 break even. He'll go up a little bit, like he'll be 200K. Maybe the aim is just to hold him for a week or two as a Clay Hall and a few others mature in price, end up on their bubble, and then we just flick him over for a cheeky 80 odd K, which could happen. He is a straight swap for O'Sullivan. If he had like 10K more, which unfortunately I don't have, with 3,200 left in the bank, he could become a Xavier Lindsay for you, basically for a straight swap, and I think that's 100% better. Callahan didn't play, will play this week. Hewitt did well. I think he's going to be around this price to performance, 58, around that 50 mark. He gets to 200K pretty easy and then straight swap him to another player. The beautiful thing with these rookies is that you want them plus an O'Driscoll, plus a Nevitt, plus an Ashcroft, potentially Lindsay O'Sullivan as well, to become a 500K premium. That's kind of the plan. So if they can make 100K, these guys get to 300-400. We're getting pretty close. Max Gawn, as I said in the intro, not great. 67. Cherry monstered him. Fantastic for North Melbourne and Cherry, but hopefully Max Gawn bounces back. Did have some off-field stuff, as Goodwin said in the presser. So hopefully everything's okay family-wise. It's not great for him. TDK vice captain wasn't great either. Originally, I wanted to go Rosie vice captain into Zorko, which would have been fine. I would have taken the 130 anyway. So we were kind of bailed out a little bit there. Boyd obviously didn't play. Horn Francis 61. Yeah, he is really worrying for myself. I think even with Lukosius out of the team due to a big injury, the break even's too high for price to performance. For myself, if we move myself over here, you'll see what I mean. So we have a quick look. Season stats. 83 last week isn't great. 61 isn't great. Maybe he's not fully fit. Maybe he's got some things happening at the moment. Only problem with him is, and take this as for a bit of grain of salt for your own teams as well, but there's defenders like Bailey Dale scoring 130s every week, and he's scoring 60s and 70s for the same price. Connor Rosie is scoring 130s, and he's cheaper than Horn Francis. Like, you've got midfielders that are scoring that as well. I know people are saying don't trade him, whatever. We've got a little bit of luxury with Best 18 as well, that we have the capacity to do these things, and it's okay. But for right now, it's a real worry with Horn Francis. And if he drops to like 450k, which I think he might, poor score this week, he's going to drop 30 odd k, so he'll be under 500, I reckon. That's my prediction. With the poor score, he might drop to 450, and then we just upgrade into him. I think he's going to be a keeper. Spoke with Al Patton this week or over the weekend, and I think the DPP article for at least the first 2 rounds is going to come out hopefully this week, which would be nice. Which would, potentially we can fill up these spots here. But we've got Daniel, we've got Rankin, we've got McRae. So there's at least the top 3. Bailey Smith is probably top 4 as keepers for the year. If Horn Francis becomes number 5, fantastic. But we can get him cheaper. And I think him to a defender is pretty warranted at the moment. Rankin 97, 7 points of scaling. He just left halfway through the 4th quarter. No injuries or anything, but someone's got to come out for Draper. Rankin just dominated, and I think he just better to when you're 61 points ahead at the end of the game. I think it's just better to these players who have injury potential. Better to keep them from not playing. So yeah, works out quite well when you're dominating. Jack McRae 162. He's back. I mean, his ownership must be close to 100% now. You need him in your team. Has started to become a potential captaincy option or vice captaincy option. Only problem is that St Kilda plays quite late. So this week, if you don't want to go any of these 6 teams, you could potentially do him. You could potentially pick him in your team as your captain. And then maybe, hey, if he doesn't score that well, go a Dunkley. Or go a Sarong. Or go a Jordan Dawson. Or someone like that. He's doing very, very well at the moment. So congratulations. Nice move there. Great pickups in Kilda for not too much. Caleb Daniel, almost BOG, just dominating. Nice to see him jumping back up in scoring because last week was an 80. Now, I had to keep Pal Pepper, and I was rewarded a little bit with the best 18 score for doing so. Got rid of O'Sullivan, got rid of Sardis, who I think ended up scoring pretty close to him. So, yeah, I think this week, though, he may have to go. He'll be an okay pick for people. Hopefully, he doesn't burn me too much. He ends up scoring 80s, and then he gets to 400k. I'll be really sad. But to get in the 2 defenders that I want to, I need the extra money from someone like him. I don't have the luxury of a Sardis or whoever else to pull from. So Xavier Lindsay is currently... I want Lindsay. I want O'Sullivan. We'll talk about the must-haves in a little bit. But just the dynamic of the team, I'd rather this top scoring points because the defender rookies aren't going to make money. Bice potentially is just a swap for a Patton or a Reed at this point, unfortunately. And then let the rest of the team make the money. These guys score a bunch of points. 500k players scoring better than midfield primos. So, yeah, just something to watch a little bit there. Connor Stone obviously didn't play, and then we grabbed Davidson. So I'm hoping Aiden Johnson's back with Jefferson, who's out with a broken hand. Cool. Very happy with him. We grabbed Henderson into the team, 99k rookie. Basically becomes the most must-have rookie out of anyone. I think Stone may get dropped too, but Henderson taking the Neil Bullen role, as we saw in the preseason, as we saw from all the footage heading into round 1 as well. So picked him up. Very, very happy there. Biggest holes in my team at the moment is definitely short. Stewart obviously needs to go. Could be 2 weeks, could be 10 weeks. MCL injury, we'll find out later on. But I made the mistake of bringing in the risk, and it's hurt me. So yeah, needs to go. I don't want to hold him and then comes back and then does it again and comes back and does it again. It's just not very nice. So needs to go. Horn Francis is probably a bit of a risk as well. And then just clean up the rookies a little bit. We've got a lot of guys scoring 50s and 60s, which is nice, but not many guys scoring a bit more than that, which isn't great. So yeah, one to have a look out for. If we just have a look at some of the rookies. So if I want from my team, Stewart needs to go. Unfortunately, Short has to wait another week. I tried to flick around and do some crazy stuff, but I just couldn't. If I had Lindsay in the team, let's pretend, let go of Ashcroft. I don't want him. If I had Lindsay in the team, I could probably just not upgrade any rookies, but you kind of have to. So I want him out. I think Horn Francis potentially has to go from my side. It's just a lot of money. And then if I get rid of Pale Pepper, this is kind of the plan that I was looking at. Oh, let me move myself across. This is kind of the plan that I was looking at in my side, but just a lot of stuff to play around with. Supercoach Gold is still fantastic. We've got Projector. We've got a few other things, but Gold is still great. We can have a look at the break-evens. So break-evens across every line. Stewart goes to there. Henderson goes out. Now we can have a look at every line. So Riley Bice, not this week. Get him in next week. Break-even of negative 84. Freaking fantastic. Things 22, 23. Come straight out of the Werribee VFL. So you know what you're going to get from him. O'Driscoll we've got in our team as well. And then Xavier Lindsay is one. I can't force the money, unfortunately, for what I want to do. So, yeah, I may have to miss out. He could be just that good. And I was hoping that he'd score like a 20 this week so I could avoid not having to pick him. But we'll do the preemptive, hey, this is what I want to try and do with my team. I mean, I'll probably get swayed by all the comments and they'll be like, oh, cool, we won't do that. So, Patton goes to the front, gives me 2 defender spots and a forward spot. How did I have it done before? Let me figure this out. Patton goes there. Kako goes there. Patton. Oh, no, I can do this. So Patton to the forward line. Supercoach, why are you being frustrating? Cool. All right. So we'll go Patton to the forward line. Cool. Done. And then cool. All right. So we've got a flex. We've effectively got 3 defenders, guys. I'm not crazy. I'm not too crazy. So this was the original plan. So Bites next week. Cool. May have to skip on Lindsay. Do not skip on Lindsay. He's fantastic. He's playing wing. He's playing halfback. If we quickly check out the heat map for Lindsay, and I may talk myself into having to pick the player, which isn't great, but that's all right. Xavier Lindsay, Melbourne player. Bloody fantastic. Heat map. So he's playing halfback flank. Like, he's getting all the ball. Exactly what you want from him. Maybe when Stephen May comes back, things might change a little bit, but they just love the ball in his hands. Unfortunately, I can't do anything with that. The original plan was let's go O'Sullivan and let's fix all the. Oh, sorry. Let's go. I want Jordan Clark, 563K, is playing just fantastic. Will dominate against West Coast. Just price to performance is amazing. And if we look at price to performance, my last player has to be Bailey Dale. 141, 134. I don't believe I'm chasing points too much. I think he's just got a bit of an extended role. He's doing very, very well, and I want him in my team. The problem with these type of players is that they just become too too hard to bring in. So let's complete the trades. I'll show you guys what I mean. O'Sullivan or Bailey Dale, not that it matters too much, but if we look at the team now, Bailey Dale, 29 break even. Scores a 110, 120, goes up 40K. Cool. And then the week after that, so next week he becomes 560, same price as Clark. The week after that becomes 580, and then a little bit just becomes too much for me to bring in. I don't think there's anyone at the moment who's 520k who's scoring better than him. So this looks like to be the team. It is, Sunday afternoon / Monday, so I will change things up 100%. But yeah, it's not looking too bad. Kako swapped for Finn Callahan. So midfield's doing okay. Kako probably needs to go, maybe for a Riley Bice or somebody if I can switch some things around. Flex is fantastic. It's basically D9 for me, so DPP is great. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. Yeah, that's currently the team. I think Davidson will probably come on field. Maybe Stone goes to... Yeah, we'll do that. So this looks like the team so far. You'll tell me, hey, Big J, don't get rid of Juan Francis. He's too good. Maybe. But I've had a bit of amanaring at the moment about everything and just trying to figure it out myself, which is nice. Jaden Short definitely needs to go. He's probably the next player to get dropped in the team. Maybe I go to Bice and just say, cool, Bice, post-buy, we're just going to ride you out and see what your level of scoring is. Cool. That means that Reed and Trainer can just be slow burns. And they'll have 60 and 70 games at some point, which will boost up their cash gen. I mean, Zach Reed will probably get to 220. Same with Trainer, and then we're okay. Jaden Short could 100% be Riley Bice next week, which gives us, a bit of money to play around with. Maybe that means that an Ashcroft turns into a primo. Like it could end up happening. Jump on one of these guys into a primo a little bit earlier than other people. There is a couple that I'm looking at. We'll see how that goes. Guys, let me know how your team went this week. Supercoach is a bit of a weird one, but I think we're saved a little bit by the best 18. What did you guys score? What was your rankings? Team of the week this week was a bit nuts. And yeah, missing out on a bit of Tom Stewart and a few other players have hurt quite a lot. Maybe I've just got to go Lindsay. Maybe I've just got to go O'Sullivan. Just cop the bullet there and say, cool, I can only upgrade Tom Stewart to a player and keep on Francis. It could end up happening there. Maybe dropping Pal Pepper is probably a bad thing considering you did score an 80. Let me know down in the comments, guys. Remember, like, share, subscribe. Live streams on Monday at 7. Members live stream 6 o'clock on Tuesday. And then the drive home at 5:30. Have a good one. Have a good week. Supercoach is a lot of fun. Doesn't mean so much. Keep safe. Keep handy. Go Roos.